Well, Israel's political turmoil is taking a new turn as results start pouring in from the country's high-stakes election. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu holds a significant lead over rival Benny Gantz, but his political party doesn't appear to have enough seats in parliament required to form a government.
It's the same old story. This is the country's third election in less than a year. Netanyahu and Gantz have both failed to form governments. CBS News foreign correspondent Seth Doan is following the latest from Tel Aviv, Israel. Seth, I mean, this is the third time we've talked to you about this
in less
than a year. But let me ask you once again to take us through the results and explain why both Bibi Netanyahu and Benny Gantz have been unable to form a government.
You said it, Vlad. Same old story. Okay. Well, as you might remember, the Knesset, the parliament here, is 120 seats. So you need 61 seats to form a government. Now, once again, no single party has gotten 61 seats, so they have to form a coalition to form that government. And that's where the question mark is and where it has been after the last two elections as well. Now, this time, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did better. He picked up a few more seats, so he is closer. With the parties he would generally align with, the math looks to be about 59 seats of the 61 he needs. So he, the Likud, his party, is saying, we're going to be looking for defectors, two people who could cross and be part of our coalition. Whether he can do that or not is still the question. We have seen some of this before. So about 90%, a little bit more than 90% of the votes have been tallied at this point. So the next step would be for the president here, Rivlin, to give a mandate to presumably Netanyahu to try to form that government.
Yeah, and it's not like they haven't tried two times before. I mean, you know, they sort of get into their rooms and they argue it out and they bunker down and then they come out with no agreement at all. And so I don't know, like, Seth, is there a contingency plan, like if this one doesn't work out, or do you just go on to election number 4 and you just keep going on like that?
I think the contingency plan would be a fourth election, which is totally something that is possible. Now, you are hearing from all politicians on both sides saying we absolutely cannot afford to go to a fourth election. People are saying we will do anything to try to create a coalition to move forward. You have to imagine here, this has been a caretaker. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has stayed in as a caretaker prime minister, but very little has happened in this process. So ordinary Israelis are saying, look, we need a government. We need to move forward on some big issues here, on being able to plan and move forward as a country. Also, these elections are expensive to hold. So there is a real desire not to have a fourth election, but that is a possibility.
So what is at stake for Israelis if Prime Minister Netanyahu remains in office for another term, especially after the U.S. recently announced its peace plan for resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? And I should point out that peace plan is not something that's been embraced by the Palestinian Authority, but it has been put forth by the President of the United States.
Absolutely, and that is one of the big issues, as you know, Vlad. There is the annexation of settlements in the West Bank. That is something that we heard just leading up to the election. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu again said, within weeks, if I'm reelected within weeks, we would like to start the process of annexing some of those settlements in the West Bank. That is something that has been supported by the Trump administration's plan for Middle East peace. Obviously something, as you point out, that is not supported by Palestinians who say that would absolutely be an impediment to peace here.
And of course, just to add to this, because it needs to be a little more bizarre, right? We have Benjamin Netanyahu facing a corruption trial in 2 weeks, but clearly it hasn't dampened the support for him. If he's getting the popular vote, obviously corruption charges not hurting his political career.
That's true. That's incredible. That's one of the things that's been pointed out here. It just shows what a master politician he is. He's Israel's longest-serving prime minister. He's looking for this fifth term. He's been in office for 14 years, 11 of those years consecutive, and this just shows what a master politician he is, that on the eve of this, just 2 weeks away from this corruption trial where we will see Netanyahu actually appear in a courtroom. This is a process that could carry on for months and years, really. There's some talk that this could be a trial that might not conclude until the middle of 2023. So this is something that we will see carry on for some time. But the fact that he was able to increase his support shows what a master he is at getting reelected.
Indeed. All right, Seth, thank you so much as always. We appreciate it.